Namaste friends, I JVN Indu, Assistant Professor, Department of Science and Technology, Faculty of Education and Mathology, Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today, I will discuss introductory part of processor. So, let's start. First of all, we will discuss the definition of processor. So, let's start. A processor, or you can say that a microprocessor, is a small chip that resides in computers and other electronic devices. So, a processor or a microprocessor is a small chip. It is a small chip that resides in computers or other electronic devices. So, processor is nothing but a small chip. And microprocessor, or you can say the processor, both are the same things. Microprocessor is also a small chip. A processor is also a small chip that resides in computers and other electronic devices. Its basic job is to receive input and provide the appropriate output. Friends, the question arises that what is the need of processor? So the answer is that wherever programming is involved, we use processors or microprocessors. Suppose in the fan, is there need any microprocessor in the fan or not? Think about that. We not use the microprocessor in the fan because there is no programming. But we use microprocessor in the remote control, traffic light control, computers. So in the computers, traffic light control, programming is used. That's why we use microprocessors in the traffic light control or in computers or many other electronic devices. We use processors or microprocessors. Don't need to confuse here. Processor or microprocessor, both are the same thing because both are the small chips. So why we are using the processor in the electronic devices or in the computers? So the basic job of the processor is to receive input and provide the appropriate output. Why we are using the small chips that are processors? To receive input and provide the appropriate output. Suppose you want to add two numbers. So can your keyboard or mouse can add that two numbers? What will be your answer? I'm asking that we want to add two numbers. So can keyboard, mouse can add two numbers? No. Keyboard and mouse are input devices. We can give only inputs through keyboard and mouse. They can't add two numbers. Okay? Or monitor or printer can add two numbers. The answer will be same. Monitor and printer are the output devices. They can't add numbers. So here we need processor which will add two numbers. Okay. So the basic job of the processor is to receive input and provide the appropriate output. Without processor, we can't add the numbers, or you can say any arithmetic operations. Without processor, we can't do. So wherever programming is involved, processor is used there. For example, CPU is a chip which is used to perform input and output operations in the computer. CPU, Central Processing Unit, is a chip, or you can say that it is a processor, or you can also say that it is a microprocessor. CPU is a chip, it is a microprocessor. It is a microprocessor. So CPU is used to perform input output operations in the computer. Why we use CPU in the motherboard? To perform the input output operations, we use CPU in the motherboard. What is the meaning of input output operation? Input means command, or you can say instructions. Process means processing. Output means result. Input output operations means input means we will give some command, some instruction. Process means processing, which will perform by the processor. Output is the our desired result, which we want to. Suppose we want to subtract 3 from 5. So our output is 2. So 2 is the our desired result. Let's take another example. Suppose you want to open browser. So what will you do to open the browser? First of all, you will click on browser. When you click on browser, it means you are giving some instruction to browser. So this is the input. You click on the browser, this is the input. After that, it will take some time to open the browser. So that will be the processing time. And after some time, at last, browser opens. So it is the result, or you can say that it is the output which we want, because we want to open the browser. So first of all, we click on the browser. When we click on the browser, it is the input. After that, it will take some time to open the browser. So it is the processing time. At last, browser opens. So that is the output which we want. So like this, input output operations performs by the CPU. Students, now I'm going to show you the CPU chip. You can see this CPU chip in the computer's motherboard. So CPU chip is like CPU chip will be like this. So your today's task is open your cabinet and see the CPU chip in the motherboard section. So I hope you are satisfied with my today's digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment section. Thank you.